Was good. It was good. It was good, everybody. This is Keemy back with my tea of the day. Welcome to season 2 of episode 10. Dos y nueve. And I have a special guest, one of my besties, Miss Polka, Miss Shatia.
Hello. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my love. I'm doing good.
Welcome to my channel. How's everything going?
Everything is fine. I am doing good. Had some good eats this morning, so I'm doing good. I'm feeling rejuvenated.
Yes. So we got a few topics for the channel today, right?
Yes, we do.
So you want to cover what we're going over, or you just want to get into the first topic?
I mean, we can just get into it.
Ooh, I like that. So writing. So what brought you to writing, and what this requires you get for the people who have aspirations and dreams of writing as well? What brought you to writing in the first place, and how far do you think you would like to go with that?
So I started writing when I was in middle school. And I feel like I started writing based off of my dreams. I always used to feel like I could project my own dreams. So everyone can do it. Everyone can manifest what they feel like they want to see in their dreams or whatever. So as I was young, I used to want to write stories of what things would be like when I got to an adult year. So I used to write stories based upon what I felt my future would be like or whatever. Whether it was just a little play around writings, little stories that are considered to be urban books now. And after that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's becoming so natural. I can sit there and write a whole bunch of pages without even really thinking that I done wrote all these pages, because it just feels like I started 5 minutes ago, and it would be like, wow, you've been writing for 30 minutes. So that was how it got started. And as far as I feel like I want to go, I feel like I got 3 books in my phone right now. I got 2 stories of an urban book, and I have 1 official mystery suspense book or whatever. Ooh. That I have in my phone. And then I also been thinking about channeling and writing a book and continuing the series of books based off of my niece Shyla. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. I've been trying to channel into everything and dab into everything, because I feel like I'm not limited to one thing.
Absolutely not. Because a lot of people tend to limit themselves and put themselves in a box that no one even put themselves in. And I think that happens a lot through fear and through insecurities, I would say, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Where people would just limit themselves and then play the victim or or be the bad guy of their own story, of their own conclusion. And it happens oftentimes for that reason, because I don't know, they put themselves in a box, but then make it seem like someone put them in a box.
Right. I'm not free to speak how I want to speak, but you just open your mouth.
But that's amazing, writing. I've always, especially when I was middle school, elementary school, definitely middle school, I definitely had some writing skills or dabbled into writing. And then I don't know, I just kind of, fell out of love with it.
Yeah,
but I've always...
I feel like in English class, they always push you to write, right? I mean,
absolutely.
That's the ideal to English. Mm-hmm. You got to learn how to write, because they want you to learn how to do poetry. That's one of the things they speak on. But having English class in, what was it? I think sixth grade. Oh yeah, I could say 6th grade. I had an English teacher called, what was his name? Mr. Williams. And he was so set on look, you're going to learn how to do a haiku poem. You're going to learn how to do this type of poem, that type of poem, and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not into poetry, but I did write a lot of good poetry. And at that time, my passion for poetry of what I was writing then was off of the Black movement. and Black empowerment. And I think at that time was the story about the guy that got shot 47 times by the cops in the I think it was in New York City. And I had wrote a poem about that. So I feel like history, I mean, like in elementary school and middle school, they projected English so crazy. And it was like, you didn't have a choice. You had to write. You had to write your essays, da-da-da-da. But then I started to love writing because it was like a whole nother outlet for me. So that's how I picked up on it.
Where you can just put your thoughts into paper and just let your mind wander. And next thing you know, you have a story.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you have a book.
Right.
And I cannot wait for your book to just be out into the atmosphere, out into the world, for everyone to just really indulge and enjoy what you have in store, like all you have to offer, like all of just the cleverness of your writing for us to really just listen and read. And then hopefully it will be an audiobook as well.
Oh, yes.
I definitely see that.
Oh, yes. That would be really good.
Yeah. So, our next topic, let's get into domestic violence?
Yes. Oh my God. Something that definitely doesn't get a lot of light. And I feel like people just swoop it under the rug. Like, oh, we know there's these things out there, and they feel like it's not that big of a deal. It's that because people don't reach out enough about it. It's a awareness that needs to be talked about, and people need help, because a lot of times if someone's not asking for help, they feel like they don't need it. But sometimes you have to be that push.
I definitely agree. With asking for help, I feel like a lot of people don't ask for help because I don't think they really notice that it's unhealthy, that they're in a relationship that they're not supposed to be in. Like once hands are laid, that's a problem. But a lot of people may be conditioned to see that because that's what they've seen growing up.
Well, yeah.
So they just think like that's the norm.
Yeah, so it goes back to, and I think at a place I have wrote down how I felt it transpires to, we have this thing where, and you have good parents, and then you have those parents that definitely didn't know how to analyze that they were abusive. But you have these parents that they tell their children, oh, I'm only beating you because I love you.
Right.
Okay, that love goes a long way. So that I'm only beating you because I love you, now that transpires to you dating, whether it's man or women. Oh, I'm only beating you because I love you. I love you. I didn't.
This is how I feel my love.
I'm just so crazy about you. I'm just so in love with you that I'm so sorry. I didn't mean I did it. I didn't know I did it. And it gets to this place where it's like, oh, he did it because he loved me. And you see this on movies, you see this on TV shows. The first thing the woman says, oh, it's because he loved me. I'm not okay. I'm okay. I'm not hurt. He loves me. That's what it is. He's just doing this because he loves me. It's his love being shown for the world. But he didn't mean it. And because parents tell you, I don't mean to hit you, but I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you the world. I'm trying to show you what the world is really like. And I love you, and that's why I'm hitting you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to harm you, but they don't realize. Okay, now you took that in as a kid. Now you're taking it in as an adult. Okay? And then we have to stop producing the same fruit. Plant a different seed. Let that seed grow into something else. So what you've seen in your past is not what you're supposed to see in your future. You're supposed to knock that out. So the signs you already seen, because you already seen it from home, are the same signs that you should be aware of. And I think a lot of women don't take in factor when meeting guys the signs that are right in front of them. And there's like heavily spoken signs. A guy keeps calling your phone, but it's a way where it could be like, oh, I called her phone, she didn't answer. Then there's a way of excessive calling, excessive texting. Where are you? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Where are you going?
Like being possessive.
Yes, very, very clingy. Like
Mm-hmm.
drawing the fact that they are extremely clingy. And then it's like they'll play the role that they will have to play. So like a lot of these men don't feel that they are crazy. And I feel like they take it as, oh, I just want her so much, and that, you know, that's it. Like I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. But yeah, it goes from where you at, where you going, what you doing, why you need to hang out with your friends, you got me. And then it goes from the clinginess in the beginning, when they come, they wine and dine you feel so at all with the guy, and he's so charming, he's so this, he's so that, then he's so clingy, and it's like, oh, well, he's clingy, but it's not that bad. He's clingy, but oh, I like it. I like being feel like I get attention. Then it goes from that to
it's that part.
Possession. Oh, where you going? Oh, why you need friends? You got me. Who you need to talk to? You got me. Oh, you going to see a family? Oh, but your family doesn't like me. I don't want you with them.
So it's definitely signs to it. It's definitely levels to it. It's definitely signs that you would pick up on earlier from just the phone calls, from this to where you're the end all be all. And if they can't have you, then no one can.
No one can.
Kind of situation.
And that's the danger. That's the most dangerous of all. If I can have you, no one can. And then no one can comes in multiple forms. No one can comes into suicide. Oh, girl, you're not going nowhere. I'm either going to kill myself or I'm going to kill you. And then it goes from that to, oh, you can't have nobody because you know what? You're not pretty. You're not beautiful. You're this, you're that. It goes to the breaking down. So it goes from the verbal to the physical to the mental. Because I can't have you, no one can. You're not worthy of finding love. You're not worthy of finding better.
But most of the time, it starts with the mental, because they'll break them down first.
Yeah.
Where they'll feel like, oh, okay, so I should stay here because I'm not beautiful. I can't find no one new. I can't go back out there. I'm scared. Like, this is where I need to be. And then they'll put a face on every time that person decides to hit them now.
Oh, yeah.
No, but he loves me. It's okay because I found my happily ever after.
Yep.
Like, look at my mom. She dealt with the same thing with my father. And I don't even want to necessarily like box it into like always a man beating on a woman, because a man can beat on a man.
No, and that's why I said it depends on who you are with. Because you know, in mad scenarios, I've known many different relationships and many different situations where it was man on man, women on women, man on woman, woman on man, you know? And pretty much it's just the story of abuse. Regardless, the abuse doesn't have no face. Abuse doesn't have no gender. But it definitely has... It plays a part of whoever the person is. The person is deeply rooted in abuse.
Yeah.
So it comes back to your family, your parents, because what people fail to realize is that your love, you find love within your parents. You know love within your parents. And
that's the first thing that you see.
Guides you to who you are going to be. But again, when you get older, you make your own perception of what you are and who you're going to be. And some people can make a change. And then some people can be in a place where they can't forgive their past, so they have to be the same.
You never grow. They never
change. And you know, by that, it's like, I've been through some shit, so I'm going to put you through some shit. Because I felt hurt. I felt unloved. I felt like I was beaten down. So I love you, but I'm going to beat you down too, so that you can feel what I feel, so that we can be together.
So we can be on the same level.
Exactly.
Because it's all about love. It's all about seeing eye to eye. So if you're too up, I'm going to break you down. And if I'm too up, I'm going to break myself down. So we can be on the same level.
Most situations with that,
mentally,
they pick these people that they know they have problems. Not they have problems, but they have mommy issues. They have daddy issues. They
see weakness.
They don't have.
They smell blood.
Like they already question the family that they have, and those are the ones that they go for. because those are the ones that can be
Right.
easily broken. I could be your safe haven. I could be your family. I could be this. I could be that. And then what? That's all you wanted. That's all you wanted in life. So you think it's right. You think it's good. You think, oh, this is my family. This is what I need. But it's not.
So, since we're into like domestic violence and possession, what did I know we seen this Derek Jackson and I guess Dania, that lovely situation. I want to hear your thoughts before I add mine to it.
Okay.
What did you feel?
So I definitely seen the video, and I see how he's dressed and I see how she's dressed. And I've been listening to her speak on her video and her speak on how she was on the video and other people speaking. I've listened to people testimonies about the situation as well. And I just take from it as this man has definitely cheated on her multiple times. Okay. With multiple women of different shades, different colors, different backgrounds. Okay. And I feel like to an extent, she's the wife. And I feel like in a lot of scenarios, people wants to paint the wife as this, stay at home person. This person that doesn't have to look beautiful. This person that doesn't, and this isn't like older relationships, or basically relationships where you have men that are possessive, and he comes across as a possessive man. You're my wife. You're gonna be the woman that I want to be with, but these are the women I like to see. So I want to see you dressed like this, but my women that I want outside of you, I want them dressed like that, or whatever. So I feel like in that scenario, you cheated on her. You dragged her through the mud through social media because of what you have done and embarrassed her. I feel like, why is it that you look like you fully showered, got dressed, got on the camera, and she looks like she just got out of her nightingale? Like, I feel like she just hopped out the bed and you were like, okay, quickly brush your face and wash your teeth because we're getting on this live real quick. And then notice how, he's so closely on the camera. She's a little further away. She's not directly right next. Like it's as if he's in front and she's behind.
Right.
And then he has her hands like so solely invested into his. And it's just like, I'm gonna get on the camera and I'm gonna tell people that I'm wrong or whatever, so that I make the world feel better about the situation, because I'm gonna put all the blame on me or whatever. But again, in that scenario, I feel like they've only brought this video out because it's excessive. And now it's like the media knows about it. So all right, cool. Now we definitely gotta talk about it. We definitely have to address it. We can't push this back anymore. We can't put this aside no more. They know. They all know. So I definitely was just like, oh my God, she is trapped. Girl, get up, get out. Listen, I don't know why I was screaming like, girl, get up. And I kid you not, this comes back to Sarah Jakes Roberts' video of her sermon, and it was called "Girl Get Up." Like, you're a child of God. I feel like she's a child of God, and if you look at her profile, she goes to church and stuff like that. Know the value of your worth. You're a woman, okay? This man dragged you through the mud. I'm not getting on the camera looking like how I look, no matter if that's how I am on the regular day. And if you look at her profile, she's looked damn good. This is not the first time, on her profile, she's dressed up, her hair is done. So in a particular situation where you're going through the most, and you're on live and you're telling people, oh, I took him back, yeah, we're gonna work it out, you look the way you look, No. I think he wants her to look exactly how he wants her to look. Because if she looks any better, she can do better. And she'll seek
Absolutely.
better. Because it could have been a whole lot of men like, oh my God, look how beautiful you are, had she just got on that video and actually looked the part. Shit, you done been through something. I'm not about to get on the camera with my bonnet on. That's a bonnet. It's a difference if you have a religious belief and that's what you wear, and or if your religious belief allows you to cover up. But girl, you don't have, like, you could have.
You're not in that religion.
You can let your head down, girl. You can show yourself. I feel like she was so closed off, and that was for a reason. Because I mean, he looked damn good on the fucking camera, so why not? Yeah. Let's hear what you want to say about the situation.
I definitely cringed the first time I seen the video. I cringed because I seen a setup. I seen like a movie. I seen like something staged, something forced, something not at ease, not where it's like, this is what we're gonna do. This is like, we're in it as a team. So he's coming on live to tell the world, after you're being caught, how much of a cheater he is, and how, he's asking for forgiveness from the world. Why did the world need to know this? I'm confused, for one. Secondly, the way he held her hand was like, you're just going to be here and be a prop, and when you need to talk, you'll talk. But other than that, I'm going to do most of the talking. You're just here as a prop. So I don't care how you look. I don't care that you just woke up, but we're about to do this video because my name is in the streets.
Yep.
And for me, it was her response like, oh, I forgave him. And I'm not necessarily a spiritual person. I'm not necessarily like a religious person or what have you. I do believe in like a higher power. But all I have response was like, well, I forgave, God. Like, God told me to forgive him. I forgave him. We're fine. Actually, but when you visually see her, when you see her face expressions, she didn't want to be there. She didn't truly forgive him. She just preaching what she knows. And I feel like that was her weakness. That's what he drew on. And that's what drew them together for as many years as they've been together. Was a similarity of the gospel, but he's still worldly. All she knows is the Bible. All she knows is religion. That's all she knows. So that's the mindset that she's thinking of. And that's good and dandy, but at the end of the day, I'm quite sure God would have told you to get the fuck up. It's time to go. So what part of God are you listening to, or what part of God are you not listening to?
Right.
Because yes, there's forgiveness. Yes, there is, okay, he cheated. I think we can work past it. But if he's a continuous cheater, because there's this other girl, because I was just listening to Tasha K last night, and Tasha K, she's a YouTuber, a YouTube blogger, and she interviewed one of the girls who was with Derek, Miss Nikki. She is a doctor, and she was with him throughout the relationship. But of course, both sides, she's not going to say, oh, I'm married. He's not going to tell her, oh, I'm married. But she had different instances of where he was possessive to her. Tell her, oh, you're a doctor, you need to put on makeup. Like, why are you going out like that? Oh, you're not picking up my phone call. You never not pick up the phone for me. So she's seen possessive in him as well. And at this particular moment, she's trying to get out of that relationship with him too, knowing as everything is unfolding and everything's in the forefront, how, yeah. So for a message for her, I would definitely say, it's time to wake up. If you're going to listen to the gospel, if you're going to really be religious and listen to word by word, you have to listen to the whole word, not
Right.
half of it. So just like God doesn't necessarily believe in divorces and all that stuff, you're still a human. You still need to know your worth. And I don't know how bad he beat you down mentally, because I think that was the first part. You probably might have had low self esteem. And that happens to all of us. We all deal with low self esteem. We all deal with different things that we want to fix
Mm-hmm.
about ourselves. And sometimes people do play on that. Sometimes people notice they're like, oh, okay, they're not so sure about themselves. They're not that confident. That's my way in. Because then they're going to need me. And then once they feel like you need them, they got
Right.
you. And then comes the cheating, or then it becomes the physical abuse, or then it's just the mental abuse, because then you feel like, oh, I can't leave this situation. This is the best relationship I've had. But you're not giving yourself to have a better relationship, because this isn't it. Like, you're dealing with a man who's continuously cheating on you, who knows what he's bringing home to you, and then you look stupid and for yourself and in the public
Mm-hmm.
eye. And just for yourself, like, you degraded yourself because you're allowing this to happen continuously. Like, what makes you feel like you being cheated on is okay? Like, why are you condoning that? Because I'm quite sure you're gonna ask God, why do I need to stay here?
Right.
You might have asked God, okay, you tell him to stay here. Did you question him? But why do I need to stay here? Like, why is this my mission?
Right.
So since we went into possession, let's get into like toxic relationships, because that would definitely lead into a toxic relationship. So when is the time for you to leave? Like, when do you notice the
I
toxic
feel like
traits within yourself, within a relationship, and then what do you feel like it's time? You know what? It's time to go.
I feel like from the jump. So I had once met this boy, and right away I told him, "Oh, you clingy." And I kid you not. Anytime a guy tries to talk to me, I assess that out the first time around, the first time we hang out. I see it. So I just moved to a new state, and I was like, let me give myself an opportunity. Let me try to, experience different things or whatever. And I met this
Right.
guy, and I mean, immediately in my mind, I told myself, he is too fucking pretty. Now, you can get anybody you want in life. You can. And you are not limited because you feel like somebody is too handsome for you. Anybody's for you. It don't matter. But
Quote unquote
yeah,
out of your
like
league.
no one's out of your league. You make your own
Mm-hmm.
suggestion, and they make their own. If they seek you out, you definitely can get that. So I met him at the club, and he immediately was interested in me, but I wasn't interested in him. Because I was like, oh, you look like one of those. And even though I just felt like he had a cool chill about him or whatever, so I'm like, all right, you cool, we can hang out, you cool or whatever. Even if I kept telling him, like, if and when I feel like you too much, you're a dog, because I know what type of I know the traits. You giving me off all the
Mm-hmm.
signs. So I mean, I'm gonna see how this shit work out. But again, once I know otherwise, I know otherwise. And it started out nice, and it was like, oh, when I'm gonna see you, when I'm gonna come over. And then I let him come over, and it was like, oh, can I come over again tomorrow? Like, mm-hmm. If I want to see you, I'll let you know. And then it was like, oh, but you're supposed to be my, like, and eventually, we thought about, dating. So I'm like, all right, cool, we could probably date. And then I just thought, like, I'm at work. At that time, I had 2 jobs. Blowing my phone up badly. And I remember at one point, I had stopped, like, throughout the day. And I was like, all right, let me get free time. Let me call him back. Where you at? What you doing? Why you not answer my calls? Like, oh, excuse me, I think I paid my own bill.
Oh,
I think I pay my own bill. I think I told you I'm at work. So, oh, but you can't take time out the day just to answer the phone. You can't put your work on hold. At the time, I was a server at a restaurant. No, you do not be like, hold on, here's your pizza, but let me come back and let me take this phone call. I was like, yeah, no. I called you back when I had time to call you back. Oh, no. You're gonna answer my call, and when I ask you where you at, you're gonna tell me where I'm at. Who is you? Because I'm grown. I don't have to answer to no one. And then, I guess for him, it was like, I was a challenging situation because he's never had that type of treatment thrown back at him. And I saw the signs, but I guess,
so he did
at that time I was in a place where I didn't know nobody. So I mean, yeah, we chill, we cool, we was cool and stuff like that. But again, I known from past experiences how far to go, how deep to go. And yeah, I was just like, yeah, this is not working. And every time I would tell him, like, I would tell him about himself. Yeah, you definitely clingy. You definitely controlling. And I feel like in ways he knew I wasn't somebody to be reckoned with. So again, you can see the signs in the beginning, and the signs will definitely be that it will be added on pressure. But if you woke yourself and you already let it be known and you establish it in the beginning, I know what type of person you are, they won't be able to do but so much. Because again, they're going to try to prove that they're not the person that they are. But you just got to know how to go about it. And then you got to be stronger too. Because a lot of these women get in these situations and they're not strong. So, I mean, they might see it coming, but they like, but I need him. And in that scenario, any step of the way, it was just like, oh, you need me to drive you to work? No. I could get to work perfectly fine when you weren't around. And I feel like in that situation, you have to be independent, because if a man feel like you need them, there go the key. There go the key.
That's it.
She need me. Oh, I got her. Eating out of the palm of my hand.
So now I get to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Man, and with every inch of him, still tries to follow me, contact me, because it was just like, had I just did right, this would have been the perfect girl for me. She would have held me down. She is literally what I want, but my own ways will not allow me to have it, because it's all deep rooted. And you know what? Half the time it's because they have mommy issues. The men have mommy issues. And the women that get in these relationships have daddy issues.
So definitely all stems from
your parents, like your upbringing. It could be, and it don't have to be mom,
the
daddy,
foundation,
grandma, uncle, auntie, whoever raised you.
That foundation. And if that foundation's not there, then, and you don't fix that, then that's it. You'll be susceptible to anything. It's sad to say, but so with knowing how toxic relationship works and how, I guess, most of or some of the traits, because they're there, you just have to look for it. You have to really open your eyes when dealing with someone. But a lot of people don't, because a lot of people like in the puppy love phase. Oh the puppy love phase. And it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is something new. I've just never dealt with this before. This is brand new. He's bringing me to different places I've never been. He takes me out the country. Like, that's all great and dandy, but then it's like, why is all?
And that's why you see it in movies.
Like, now
you do.
Oh, like the movie, I feel like it gives you that sense of this is what's reality. That's why like movies are great, but then it definitely kind of brainwashes a lot of people, because they make it seem like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to accept, because this is what she accepted, and then they just look at the person who's playing or portraying that role. Like, that person who's playing that role is just an actor, they're an actress.
Right, but then it also,
that doesn't mean
it also shows that exactly the traits. It shows the traits. that cunning in the beginning. It shows that,
and magnifies it.
but I mean, if you're not woke, you're not learning the lesson that the movie is telling. You're not learning the lesson that the book is telling. You're not learning the lesson that the music video is expressing. These are all awake. These are all awarenesses. Okay.
Or you're not even waking up from that last experience that you had. Because that's another thing. Like, once in a sexual relationship, you're always gonna find that man. Like, if you're dating a man who's abused you, you finally got out, you finally left that relationship. 9 times out of 10, there's still gonna be something that's gonna draw you to another man that beat you. It's just something that you have to figure out in yourself, that you're attracted to that trait, whether it's that overly masculine trait, like toxic masculinity, or if it's just something that you're just familiar with that you need to become unfamiliar with. You might not even consciously do it. You might not even consciously know that, oh, you know what, I do try to always find this type of man. It's something that just happens, but once you get out of that horrible relationship that could have paralyzed you, that could have put bruises on you, and your kids seen it and all that stuff, when is enough? Like, when do you really realize, and when do you take time for yourself to take your own inventory and just figure out what it is in you that's attracting that type of person?
It has to take a woman to literally be before themselves and to actually see themselves in that mirror as beaten, as broken. And I mean, anytime a woman gets beat, they see the bruises, they patch up the bruises and stuff like that. But it's in that moment that you actually look in that mirror, and that mirror saying back to you, what are you doing to yourself? This is not love.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you get beat, your intuition is telling you.
Where was the breakdown?
Your intuition speaks to you. Your intuition is telling you, no, get out. No, leave. But again, you lack at that feeling. So you're like, this is the feeling that I long to want. If I leave now, I'm not going to have this feeling. Because look, in abuse comes the highs and the lows. So you get the highest of love, and you get the lowest of love. So when it's high, you love it. When it's high, it feels great. It feels great to be wanted. It feels great to have a day and go out and have dinner and celebrate and have fun. But then when that person hits their low, it's like, oh my God, I'm back at this again.
Mm-hmm. Because you're always waiting for that person to change. You're always waiting for the shoe to change. And it's not. Like, as much as you may love that person, as much as you may wish them the best and really feel like they could change with the love that you give them, but if you don't even love yourself by continuously staying in those type of situations, in those relationships, how are they supposed to love you, for one? And they'll change when they're ready to change. But love is not going to change a person unless they're really ready to change those habits and those behaviors. And if you're not going to be, if you're going to be quiet about it, and you're not going to even address the fact that you keep on beating me. Right. Why are you beating me? Like, what is the issue? Like, what's the deep root issue in you? Like, what have you seen in your childhood? To come to a conclusion, because clearly it's two broken people.
Yep.
Like, half and half equals one whole person. But there's two people in a relationship, so how does that work?
That's true.
You're both broken, y'all both don't need to be together. And then, unfortunately, that leads one or the other, to have a substance abuse problem, have a drug issue problem, like really just drown their sorrows and their pains into the bottle.
Yep, that is true.
And I'm quite sure we've all been there. I've definitely had years in my life where I've definitely indulged in a high level lot of liquor. And I was just numbing the pain of feeling abandoned, of just being alone, just dealing with all the feelings that I was dealing with at that point in time.
Yeah.
And then, me too, and really being sober and sober mind, realizing that didn't help. Like it did what it did for that time period, and then I threw it up, and then I got back to reality, and it didn't
Right.
necessarily help the situation. And mask it because now instead of talking to someone, you're just talking to the bottle. You're making sure you at that liquor store every day,
Yeah.
getting you a personal or drinking on the job or XYZ that happened.
That is true. That is definitely true. That's how that goes.
It's a cycle. Like it all ties in one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you see the signs, you just gotta leave. You gotta leave.
It may be hard, but you have to do it for you. And if you don't find value in you, find value in those kids that you have. Find value in the friend that's trying to get you out of that. Find value in all of the loving words that someone said about you that you may not even believe, but that's
Right.
true. It's, it's all about self-esteem. If you don't love yourself or if you don't believe you can do it, you may not. But at the end of the day, it has to be those people around you, those friends, those loved ones, those family members around you that's really trying to push you to get out of whatever situation you're
That
in
that is
for you to
true,
see
but
who you really are.
you
Like
get the
when
family
you
that
like
gets tired. Get
of
tired of
hearing it.
hearing it, get tired of trying to
Absolutely.
help you, get tired of you not acknowledging this fact that you are not okay and that you are in a situation. The family can do but so much. But then again, a family can watch but so much. I'm not gonna watch you go through this.
hmm
So they give up. They give up. And they're like, when
Before
you're
I call
ready,
top. Yeah.
I'll come around. But until you're ready, I'm not putting myself through any extra drama that you're gonna run right back. And I've dealt with that with my friends to the point where I was just like, I'm gonna stop speaking because I'm not gonna let my breath go to waste.
Right.
But don't call me when it's all shit and shambles, because I was there and I wanted to help you, but I can't help you no more because you're draining my energy because I'm so worried about you.
Oh, I definitely get that. And it's unfortunate that those are the scenarios, other cases where we just get tired of talking and we still wish them the best, but we still don't see like a resolution to the end until they're ready, until they're really just, if it has to be in the hospital or whatever that scenario could be, until they really figure out for themselves, okay, this is the end. This has to
Right.
be the end. But substance abuse is definitely like another trait,
Yes.
another
So
pattern.
with people not knowing about their intake in whether it be alcohol, whether it be I want to say marijuana, but then again I don't, because I feel like in the state of smoking weed is a more relaxed state rather than alcohol and being on pills and coke and all of the other drugs that are like so heavy rooted. I feel like you can smoke and be like, hey, I want to quit, and easily can quit.
Well, for
Well,
anything, you can easily quit. Some can I absolutely be harder than others. Like when you get to the coke and heroin and like shooting up needles, absolutely that would be
pills is
harder
actually
to
just as hard as
quit.
all. People get so heavy on the pills. The pills is The pills
The perks.
is
Yep.
the problem. And it's like not even, it could be like the slightest bit of pills that will be the most increased. Like, people are like crazy about pills. But yeah, substance abuse can definitely be that scenario sometimes. And you start out young. So I remember I was crazy. I watched this movie called Riding Around with Cars and Boys. And the person that plays in the movie is Drew Barrymore. So I remember telling my grandma, like, oh my God, I like her. She's like so cool. This is a good ass movie. Da, 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 da. And I remember my grandma saying, like, yo, she had a long time with like alcohol and drugs. Like she literally went through it with alcohol and drugs at an early age or whatever. And I remember myself drinking at like 13, 14 years old. And I mean, not drinking to get drunk, because the only time I've actually thrown up from alcohol wasn't until I was in my 20s. So we're talking about a 14-year-old drinking heavily all the time on the weekends, during the weekday, but you got to be careful because you don't want your parents to find out. I was
What was you trying to numb?
Life, like my whole life, you would say. Like I've gone through child abuse. I've gone through not feeling loved, being in a household with my loved ones and not feeling loved, being the black sheep of the family, being the middle child, and having a voice, but that voice, that outspoken way about you gets you beaten down. So when I
that middle child syndrome is something else.
Yeah, like when I was
that's not talked about.
By the time I became a teenager, it was like, I saw my uncle drinking. I want some. And after that, it just became a thing. And I was so closely knitted with my brother and my sister that my sister was my drinking buddy. My sister was my partner in crime. And in my mind, I'm not even thinking, hey, I'm 14, 15 drinking, and my sister's 12. But we were all going through something, and we all had each other's backs. And I would go to school, I would have a water bottle filled with alcohol. I would have personal bottles of alcohol, bottles of my soda. And I was even around family drinking, and no one knew. And then as I got older, I was smoking weed, and still I would smoke weed. I would go home, no one knew. I was even in the household in my father's and my mom's house, and we had bought a bottle, and my dad always allowed us to have company. Like there was no, you can't have company. My father loved to entertain. He loved to cook. So our friends spent the night. It didn't matter. But little did he know, we'll find somebody to buy some alcohol. Cool. We have a whole bottle of alcohol in the room. We're all getting drunk. We're all getting drunk. But no one's drunk enough so that they're not being able to function. We all controlled our... We knew if you're going to drink alcohol, you got to know how to control it.
No, we
didn't
figured out your limit. That's the problem. Very young.
We didn't get drunk. Like we didn't. We were so good at drinking that we were drinking Devil Springs with no problem, with no signs of. And Devil Springs is extremely strong. It doesn't matter how much you intake because the amount of alcohol in it in general is already high. Okay. So, yeah, we were drinking that like it was nothing. It was strong. It tasted nasty. But again, who cares? Who cares? And no one knew. So that was the more crazy part, that we were just kids walking around, and it was like going to high school, and my friends used to be like, "Is that alcohol?" Yeah. Oh my God, who bought you that? How you get that? Oh my God, you gonna get in trouble. Like, I don't even get in trouble by my parents. I'm gonna get in trouble by the school. And I just had this way about me where it was just like, it's just Bacardi. Like, it's nothing serious. It's just some alcohol. It's not that serious, not that crazy. So yeah, I love to drink. Back then, I really loved to drink. I always drunk. And even when I started to smoke, I really just did it. That was really like a relaxing place. And that's why I say I don't feel like that could be used as a addictive drug. Yeah, some people always gotta smoke. Some people just smoke all the time. But you just feel really relaxed. But alcohol just really numbed me. I just didn't give a fuck about anything. I just yeah.
I think it depends on the person.
But
because for some, we definitely numbs people. And like substance abuse in general, definitely you're trying to numb whatever situation that you're in instead of just dealing with it head on. So whether it could be popping pills, because you're trying to numb like a physical to mental pain, or just drinking just to get through the day, because a lot of people end up unfortunately do that. Like there's functional alcoholics, or there's regular alcoholics that necessarily can't function without a drink. And then there's the people who have to shoot up, heroin, and then coke and crack. That epidemic happened, and unfortunately, people still.
I definitely steered my way into knowing what I was not making it an addiction, doing it but not making it an addiction. And the reason for that is because I did have my grandfather that overdosed or whatever, and he died. And he was doing drugs for years. He was heavily on drugs. He was the sweetest person. Always came around, good spirits. I loved him a lot. But he was on drugs. And my grandmother, to this day, is heavily. She might not be on drugs right now at this moment. But up until maybe 2 to 3 years ago, have been heavily on drugs, and she just recently overdosed maybe 2 years ago. And yeah, she's like fully mobile now. She done had hella strokes. And I mean, I would hope that this would be her rock bottom, but she's been there before. So again, that's one of the reasons why I know how to do things and when to do things. And when I was younger, I was an alcoholic. I felt like I drank a lot and stuff like that, but it wasn't to the point where if I don't get drunk, I'm not going to be okay. You know, I like to indulge in it. Yeah, I like to indulge in it. But I knew my family dealt with some type of addiction. So I knew I had to have self-control. But again, I still wanted to feel like I don't want to worry about me going home and I might get into some shit with my pops and we might just end up fighting today. Again. And most of my days was like, shit, I'm going to drink this, go home, and tomorrow's another day. I just got to make it through today. That was my outlet. That was the words that got me through. I just got to make it through tonight. Tomorrow will be the next day. So shit, if I can make it through the night when that happening, I ain't get in trouble, or I don't get in no situation, I'll be alright. I'll be good. Tomorrow's another day.
That's some powerful words. Just have to make it through the night. But once we get out of those relationships, and once we figure out our toxic traits and the toxic traits of others, and we decide to leave, there's like a healing phase, right? Which could tie into spirituality, or
Well,
it can just be this healing. You found an out. You found something that
I've always
a change in yourself,
I've
kind of
had
thing.
I've lived in a household. I used to live with my great grandma, and my great grandma was known to be very spiritual. Okay, my grandma had the statue of Mary in the house. There was an altar when you first come in the house. There was Mary. There was a Mary statue, and there was like a big altar, and there was holy water there when you come in. And then as you go to the back room, there was also another altar. There was another holy water there. And my grandma was Catholic or whatever. So, I would catch her in the middle of the night praying all the time. And I would come in. I'm like, Grandma, what you doing? And my great grandma would tell me, like, I'm praying. You want to pray with me? And it would be the Our Father prayer. So I've always known that I had some type of spirituality within me. Also, my mom would always see spirits all the time, almost all the time, even to this day, casually. And so I knew I was gifted in a way that I could see, or I could hear, or I could feel, or I could dream. And my dad would dream as well. My dad was fluent with dreaming. My dad was fluent in speaking to his ancestors in a way that his ancestors went wherever he went. And he spoke to them like they were still there. So that trait and that gene passed on. Whereas my great grandma would have dreams as well, and premonitions. And then my grandmother had premonitions. And that trait kept passing on. So it's on both sides of my bloodline. And I knew deep down, eventually I would inherit abilities that would allow me to be at a more healing and spiritual state. So I would say that when I was 19 and I got kicked out of my father's house, and this was more than enough was enough. But I think for him, this was, I don't have no control anymore. So I can't do things, or I can't say things that I can anymore, because she's gonna stop it. And she's strong enough to make anyone else in this house stronger. And if everyone's strong, no one's gonna listen. So he kicked me out. And at that time, I really feared for my sister, because if I left, that means who's gonna protect her? Because she didn't have no one to protect her, because I was the only one protecting the house. So if I leave, who's gonna protect her? Who's gonna keep her safe? So I was very, very emotional. I was depressed. I was sad. And I went to my grandmother, and she cried as I told her my life story, and the things that she did not know that were right up under her nose. She cried, and she told me that I would live into her house. And I remember feeling scared and worried. I wasn't comfortable staying in her house at first. I couldn't sleep at night and stuff like that. And then I was like really, really deeply depressed. And it was one day that I went to sleep and I dreamt. And I dreamt that I was running. And I was running so bad, and I was hurt. and I was in pain, and I needed safe. Like I needed to run. Something was chasing me, and I had to run for my life. And when I ran into the apartment, and the door closed behind me, and then out of nowhere it reopened. And when it reopened, and I'm in this abandoned house full of white walls, my mom, my uncle, and my brother and them, and they're behind me, and I'm like, we're safe, we're at peace, I know where we are. And they're like, where are we? Slowly, as I'm in the apartment, the furniture appeared from the ground up, floating its way up into a place of where it needs to be. And I look to my left, and there's the altar, and there's Mary, and I know that I'm at my great-grandmother's house. And at that time, my great-grandma had passed away when I was about 12, so I had to be around 19. I had to be 19 to 20. And I said, we're okay, she's here, so we're safe. And she comes floating out the back, and she was like, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be all right. And I woke up, and my mood changed, because I not only saw her in my dream, but she came to me. That wasn't just her coming to me in a dream. That was her coming to me. That was my first time seeing her after she died. And she was telling me that I'm okay. You're going to be okay. I got up, and even now to this day, if I feel that I'm in a bad place, I close my eyes, and guess what? I can see that dream extremely clear. As if I was having that dream again for the first time. So I found clarity in knowing that my ancestors have me. My ancestors got me. My ancestors are providing for me. They're taking care of me. I don't need to worry. I have angels. I have archangels. They're all surrounding me. They all take care of me. Because I could have been so many different places, but I'm here. I've been through stress of child abuse, substance abuse, everything. And I could have said, fuck it. And I could have been like, I can't do this no more. I'm not strong enough. Because most times people aren't as strong as I am to be like, I can see another day. I'm going to go to another day. Some people be like, I can't do this no more. Either they take their life, or they get overwhelmed into these other addictions, and they get lost. And I knew there was a battle that I had to fight, because there was something that I needed in life, and I was going to thrive. So this made me strong, and this made me who I am. So it pushed me into the ways that I needed to be. I started writing to escape. When I started writing, I started to feel like, no, there's more, girl. You don't stop here. You got a lot to do. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, I need to be that outlook on other people going through what I'm going through, because I'm not alone. And I know as a teen, it was so hard. So why can I help?
Absolutely.
Why can I try to find a way to help other teens? So I told myself, devote yourself into trying to reach out to these children, because you were that child, and no one gave you a voice. No one helped you. You had all these people that were inside to help you, and no one helped you. So you have to help someone else.
So you're going to give all the teens who's dealing with similar experiences,
I definitely want to provide some
for them to get out.
Youth place for them to feel like they have a home. And I don't know what that is right now, because I know how I want to do it, but it's going to come. It's going to come. I'm going to set aside a place for children to be themselves. I'm going to set aside a place for children to feel loved, because I know I needed it the most. And I know they need it too, wherever they are. And I feel like my spirituality will guide me to these places. Me now trying to see, I've now seen so much in my dreams. I'm no longer dreaming at night. I'm dreaming in the daytime. I'm daydreaming. I'm seeing visions. I'm seeing. Listening to my intuition. Tell me to do things, and I'm following what my intuition says. And guess what? It's always correct. It's always correct. People think, oh my God, spirituality is not a thing. Seeing spirits is not a thing. Your belief is everything. Your faith is everything. If you believe, then it's true. And at first I used to be like, oh my God, why I'm having these dreams? And then my dreams started to come true. You can't avoid what's true. You can't say, oh, I'm bugging. I'm bugging. I just dreamt this person died. Oh my God, this person died. So now I'm seeing visions and I'm getting visions and I'm like, there's something. My ancestors is warning me. My ancestors want me to be woke. Not only do they want me to be woke, but they want me to pass along a message. I'm a messenger. My ancestors are going through me to pass light to people here on this earth. So I get messages about people that I haven't seen in a long time, people that I have, people that I love, people that I don't love. And I mean, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, damn, I haven't talked to this person in like 3 years. But something's up. I have to contact them. I have to reach out. I didn't have the dream for no reason. And sure enough, mostly 95% of the time, what I hit them up for is exactly what they needed to. Recently, I had a friend whose mom just died for COVID. And I told, and recently I had a dream. Her mom knocked on my door and was like, hey, I just wanted to know if your stove is working. And I said, well, sometimes it have its ups and its downs. I'm like, but my sister, she knows a trick. And she was like, well, let me show you something. And we're talking and I'm like, and she's like, I am so sorry, for your loss. I'm so sorry that your grandma's gone. I'm so sorry that y'all don't have her no more. And then I'm like, thank you. But I'm looking at her and I'm like, she's telling me sorry, but I don't think she knows that she's dead. And then I think about it and I'm like, no, she does know she's dead. And she's like, and I just, I'm just so happy that I get to be here and watch my grandchild grow. I get to be here and experience my grandchild's love. And I mean, at that time, I only knew that she had one granddaughter, because I hadn't spoken to the family in a long time. I know I did reach out to my friend because this was my neighbor and the girl was like my friend. So I know I did tell her, like, when her mom passed, like, how you doing? But I hadn't spoken to her in a long time. And when I woke up, I was like, that was so strange. She came to me about my stove, and my sister's stove does not work. So how ironic is that? My sister's stove is messed up. She came to me about a stove, and then she came to me to tell me that she's watching her grandchild grow. And she said, and I looked at her and I'm like, you're doing damn good. You look fine. You look perfect. So I called my friend and I said, I got something to tell you. I said, your mom's okay. She said, huh? I'm like, your mom's okay. Your mom came to me last night. Your mom is okay. I said, and you know what? Your mom is with Christina, which is her granddaughter. I mean, our niece, which is the mom's grandchild. I'm like, your mom is with Christina. I said, she is watching Christina grow. I was like, oh my God, like, I feel so happy. I'm like, literally, her happiness is flowing through me. But I'm telling you right now, she's good. She is not at all. She did not go in pain. Like, she is living. She's thriving. She's good. She's right with you. And I'm talking to her. She's like, well, I got a secret to tell you. And I said, what? She said, girl, I'm pregnant. And I said, oh, your mom is talking about that baby. Your mom is watching that baby grow. I said, oh, girl, yeah, your mom just wanted to let you know she is good. I said, you are bringing life. Your mom came to tell you she's fine. You don't have to worry about her. You can bring that load into this world. She is right there with you. And everything that she gave you is going to flow right through that child. And she was just like, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like, I feel so much happier. I can't believe that this is so crazy. Like, and the fact that she came to you. And I'm like, exactly. I'm so happy I'm able to pass this message along. I said, but yeah, your mom is like extremely excited and ready for that baby. She's watching that baby grow inside you. And I just felt so much happiness from it. Like, and I feel like that's, and I do get my dreams where, man, I see death and I'm like dreading it so bad. Like, oh my God, please, I hope this doesn't mean that they're gonna die. I hope. And then when it foresees itself, it's just like, I thank my ancestors for giving me that heads up, for allowing me that comfort before it happens, to allow me to know, like, listen, brace yourself, you about to hit this road again, and you already know what this path is going to take you down, so brace yourself. Be aware, be okay, put your ducks in a row right now, because you better go through some shit, but you're going to be okay. So I've been, battling that, and, but still thanking God for all of my talents, because I am one blissful person. Like, I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, I could do this. Oh my God, I could do that. I can read people. I've been reading people and their ways for so long, to the point where it's just like, you're not a good friend. Oh yeah, you're good, but you don't like me. But you're around because you want to be around me, because you like my energy. So I've been picking up on people for a while, and it's just like, yeah. It's
that
amazing.
discernment.
It's definitely amazing to come from where I've been and be on this higher energy, this higher float, this love for everything. And I knew it was only going to get better, because I think back to the dream that my grandma gave. I think back to that, and now my ancestors come to me so much, because I'm in a better place. I'm in a different state. I'm not in that dark place anymore. So I'm able to hear my ancestors clearly. I'm able to see them clearly now. They're able to come to me. Because before I would block it out. I was doing too much. I was dealing too much.
It's always about changing your atmosphere, changing your view, changing your mindset, and just be, and just grow, and just evolve, and just to always want more.
Yes.
And not be afraid to go get it. A lot of people, of course, would be afraid or would be skeptical of trying something new. But if you don't try, then you don't know what that path to be. That could have to be completely different than where you're at. So I guess last words would definitely be go for what you need to go for. Change your view. Change your focus, change your view. Love yourself. And look for those warning signs, because they're there. Right in front of you. It can even be a small thing.
Right.
Look at those too. Don't just wait for the big things to happen. Look at the small signs as well.
Oh, yes.
Don't let anything pass, and just know your worth. A lot of people don't know their worth because of course, childhood and the lack of love, the lack of appreciation, the lack of just mentally being there. But you might have physically had parents, but they mentally wasn't there for you. kind of thing. So as an adult, we have to then find out our worth. We have to define our worth for ourselves. We can't let anyone define that, because if they do,
Right.
that's how they get you. That's your weakness.
Right.
That's someone caught. So definitely learn yourself.
And
And if a toxic relationship that you get out of, just be so thankful that you got out of it. We then
yep.
figure out what drew you to that. Take that time off to be alone. Take that time to find a new
And
hobby,
us as
find a new trait.
women,
Just have a
I feel like us
voice.
as
Like,
women out here in this world, we tend to forget that men can bring forth that seed, right? But we birth these things. We birth life. We bring life. You know, we nurture. We can feed from ourselves. We can feed from our breasts. We can nurture our children. And a lot of times we tend to forget that, yeah, we are worthy of a lot. Because it's easy to give a man a baby, but okay, back then they didn't have formula how they have formula now. How you gonna feed the baby? You can't give the baby food. You need the woman. So we gotta love our women, because we birth these babies. We nurture these babies. You know, we bring forth, and then there are women that aren't, you know, attached to these things, but deep rooted. You know, Mother Nature is crazy. Mother Nature is crazy. You can, like I said, you can have a seed, but you need a woman to process that, to birth that, and we have to appreciate women more.
We need to appreciate everyone more. I feel like to say this. Absolutely, we definitely need to value our women, because they are the birth givers. But we need to value our men as well. Value their feelings. Just value them being them. Value them being open. Value them being vulnerable. Because oftentimes we see relationships fall apart because the men can't be themselves. The men aren't able to articulate their feelings. One, because of how they would be perceived as, from a woman's point of view, as not a man or not man enough, or you're too pussy, or whatever that could look like. So I would just say definitely like value ourselves. Women, value yourself and know your worth, and come into your womanhood, come into your queenship. And then value yourself. Know what you want. Be emotional. Be vulnerable. Cut the toxic masculinity, because we're not going for it anymore. We have to evolve from that. We have to grow from that, and just really be who you are, and be comfortable in who you are, and grow into your kingship.
Yeah. It's always good.
This has been an amazing episode. A lot to digest. Lots to talk about. Thank you for being on it. This was just like a regular conversation for us. These are the type of conversations we have like on a daily basis. So it's just amazing when we have just two different perspectives, two different higher beings, two different views of life, just coming together to a common conclusion, to a common basis. So hopefully it would help push the envelope, push the conversations that needs to be had, so then there would be change in our neighborhoods, in our communities.
Yeah, that is also true.
And that's what we want. We want to change. We need a change. We're dying for a change. But people need to really want to change and want to have these conversations, even though they may be tearjerkers or they may be too emotional or too touchy, but it needs to happen for us to grow as people. But where can they find you out in this world? If you want to give your social media, you absolutely can.
You're welcome, my love.
Thank you for
it's always a pleasure
coming on my page. Do you have any final words for the fellow daytime? My keemy with the day tea.
I need everyone.
Last words for our tea drinkers?
Allow meditation and yoga. And I need people to try to be at one with themselves. I need you guys to ground yourself and root yourself, because it's easy for people to be like, I'm not spiritual. Everyone's spiritual. Tap into it. Everyone's spiritual. Tap into it. Relax your mind. Cleanse your soul. Take that bath that you need. Light them candles that you need. Light them incense that you need. It goes a long way. Like, try to find what your meditation is, but meditation is the key to be relaxed. If you feel like you're having a bad day, if you feel like you're going through something, I feel like people need to start to accept these things, because they play a long part in how you can change your perspective of what you're going through. And had I known I could do that then, I would have been then now. I could have seeked out ways of being more spiritual to cleanse my soul.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Laters. So I'll be back with my tea time soon. Thank you for listening to season 2 of episode 10. But how time flies. Like, if you really want to get into podcasting and really just want to have a place where you can just be yourself and have conversations, by all means, podcasting is definitely the way to go. Blogging, anywhere where you can just feel like you have a say so, and you have the outlet to use to basically say what you need to say. Whether it's right or wrong, you have your opinions that you'll be able to talk about into the world. And you'll find like-minded people, which is always a great thing. So, thank y'all again.